Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Ben would have never been able to have imagined being murdered by his wife, as all of us would soon find out to be the case.
A judge has sentenced Lindley Rennick to 16 years in prison for killing her husband. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jordan Berger. Thanks for joining us today. Rennick was convicted of second-degree murder and armed criminal action in the death of Benjamin Rennick. KOMU 8's Catherine Merck was in the courtroom today and joins us live with more on today's sentencing and words from Ben Rennick's family members. Catherine?
It's 13 years for second-degree murder, plus another 3 more on top of that for armed criminal action. That was the recommendation from the jury a month ago that became a reality in the courtroom today. Lindley Rennick's defense team did not file a motion for a new trial or appeal the decision. The judge explained to the courtroom that Missouri law states that he can't exceed the recommended sentence that was already set by the jury. The prosecutors called on Ben Rennick's brother, Sam Rennick, to speak at today's sentencing. Even though he didn't speak at the trial, he told Lindley's defense attorney he wishes he did.
What Lindley Rennick has done to her children will forever be unforgivable, and his life was stolen from him by the sheer greed of Lindley Rennick.
Lindley Rennick's sentencing is significantly different than the other man that's convicted for the death of Benjamin Rennick. And that man who's convicted is the ex-boyfriend of Lindley Rennick. I'll tell you about the differences in their 2 sentencings, plus a recap of this case on KOMU 8 News at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in downtown Columbia, I'm Catherine Merck, KOMU 8 News.
All right, Catherine, thank you. Directly following that sentencing, Judge Crane also held a status hearing for Joseph Elledge's child abuse trial. Elledge is charged with 3 felonies, including the abuse of a child, first-degree endangerment of a child, and third-degree domestic assault. Elledge is serving a 28-year prison sentence for second-degree murder in his wife, Meng Shiji's death. Now, during today's hearing, the prosecution recommended trial dates in April and May, but the defense argued for the trial to be held in the summer. Judge Crane says the court will set a trial date for a maximum of 4 days. Missouri House Democrats want the General Assembly to focus on expanding mental health services in the 2023 fiscal year budget. In a press conference today, state representatives brought up key priorities for the budget. Governor Parson laid out highlights of his budget in the State of the State address last week. Lawmakers also discussed the need for education funding after the Attorney General's lawsuits against public schools with mask mandates.
The events of last Friday require lawmakers to seriously consider adding a budget line to fully reimburse local school districts for costs incurred defending against the Attorney General's frivolous lawsuits. Every dollar matters in public education, and local schools cannot afford to burn resources.
Democrats also talked about the need for affordable housing in the 2023 budget. We tried talking to some Missouri House Republicans, but they were unable to comment. Later this week, Columbia utility customers will have access to a whole new interface on Columbia's online utility billing portal. So here are some of the new features coming with the update. The portal will allow customers to see a more detailed view of their energy consumption. Customers will finally be able to set up auto pay, and the site will feature weather patterns for heating and cooling tips. And finally, consumers will be able to enter information regarding their specific homes. Columbia's Utilities Information Specialist thinks the update will make consumers more aware of their usage.
If it helps them conserve energy and be able to save on their energy bills, we think that's a great thing for us and for the customers.
The update is scheduled for Friday at 6 p.m. You can register for the site after that update. People in Columbia will start receiving vouchers today for trash and recycling bags in the mail. You'll get 2 vouchers for 26-count rolls of black bags and 2 vouchers for 18-count rolls of blue bags. You can find a list of places where you can redeem those vouchers over on KOMU.com. Remember that you can also buy additional trash bags in rolls of 5 for $10. Columbia will open the Wabash bus station tonight at 7 for those who need somewhere to get out of the cold. We told you last week that the city temporarily changed the minimum temperature to open the station overnight from 9 degrees to 15 degrees. The city says the change is due to capacity limits at other shelters due to COVID. Now, the change is in place until the city can find a permanent solution. Wabash will open again tomorrow and Thursday night at 7 until 6 a.m.
And that cold air continues to filter into the region. We're dropping that temperature because this cold front moved through earlier today. It's now down across southern parts of Missouri. Even got a few sprinkles out of it. Now that cloud cover is going to start to fade away. That wind pulling in cold air. Already those winds out of the north at 15 miles per hour in Columbia, 20 miles per hour in Kirksville, 18 miles per hour out in Kansas City. And this is giving us a very wide range of temperatures right now. It's still 50 in Camdenton, 48 in Jefferson City, 41 in Columbia. Meanwhile, it's 34 in Moberly and 33 in Paris. This colder air is going to continue to sink to the south through the rest of the night. By tomorrow morning, we're in the teens, wind chills below zero. We're going to warm to the 20s for the afternoon, feeling like the teens. I have an hour-by-hour look at that wind chill you can expect coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Matt, thanks. Well, the first free N95 masks have started arriving at U.S. pharmacies. The effort comes as the Biden administration seeks to ramp up access to high-quality masks amid the spread of the highly contagious Omicron variant. Now, masks are set up for distribution at some Hy-Vee and major grocery stores in the Midwest. The Biden administration announced plans to distribute 400 million N95 masks. Up to 3 free masks are available to every person in the U.S. Some Americans have also started receiving free COVID-19 tests provided by the federal government. Some people who have already received their tests say they ordered them 6 days ago. Supplies are limited to 4 tests per household. The National Restaurant Association says 88% of restaurants experienced a decline in demand in recent weeks because of that Omicron variant. A new survey found that 76% of restaurant operators are seeing a decline in business, even worse than just 3 months ago. Today, the National Restaurant Association sent a letter to Congress asking lawmakers to replenish the nearly $29 billion Restaurant Revitalization Fund. And it was a roller coaster day on Wall Street today. The Dow plummeted more than 1,000 points today before rallying throughout the afternoon to finish up 99 points. The sell-off began early today. Then just after noon Eastern time, the Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed the 1,000-point mark in losses. Within minutes left, major indexes reverse course and turn green. The Supreme Court will hear a challenge the consideration of race in college admissions. Now, 2 cases are being heard. One is against Harvard, and the other is against the University of North Carolina. They're arguing that their admissions process discriminates against Asian American students. This comes a month after the Biden administration urged the Supreme Court to reject the challenge to Harvard's policy. Sarah Palin's defamation suit against the New York Times is on hold after Palin tested positive for COVID-19. The former Alaska governor recently said that she will get the COVID-19 vaccine, quote, over my dead body. Palin's lawsuit is about a 2017 editorial that suggested an image produced by Palin's Political Action Committee incited the shooting of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords. And a massive fire broke out at a partially abandoned condo in Georgia this morning. Firefighters were faced with flames shooting through the roof with an entire building engulfed. The fire was contained to one building only. The county fire captain says there were renters in 2 of the 8 units, but squatters were also occupying the building. There were no injuries reported. Well, if you live in Columbia, you might see a surprise in the sky tonight. Find out why. Plus, the Olympics are almost here. Find out how Team USA will be represented coming up.
We got to 53 this afternoon. Our low temperature was 31 degrees at midnight. But of course, now that temperature is going to be dropping. Our actual low going to happen wherever we are once the clock strikes midnight tonight. I'm tracking a big spill of colder air for the next few days coming up.
But first, you are taking a live look over downtown Columbia. The time right now is 5:07. This is Kate News at 5. Coverage you can count on.